Okay, this is a mini lecture on the 4 transportation systems of Georgia. We have 4 major transportation systems that we use here in Georgia. Interstate highway system, Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport, the deep water seaports of Savannah and Brunswick, and railroads. Basically what you want to do is listen to this mini lecture, look at the documents that I have provided on eClass, and that way we'll be able to complete the activity that is in Module 5. This is the last activity we will be doing before we study and review for our Unit 1 test, which will be Friday, August 25th. Now, first we're going to talk about Georgia's interstate highway system. Georgia is known as a hub for transportation in the southeast, and a lot of this is because of our thousands and thousands of miles of highway that's in Georgia. When we say thousands and thousands of miles of highway, you know a lot of these highways. I-75, I-85 both run through the city of Atlanta. I-85 is right over here by the school. We have I-20, which cuts through Atlanta, goes to Augusta, near the coast of Georgia and into Alabama. And then we have I-95 on the coast of Georgia. You can access it easily from Savannah, and it travels up the east coast of the United States. Georgia's highways basically create a quick and reliable system to send goods all around the United States and in Georgia. About $620 billion worth of cargo is shipped every year just on Georgia highways alone. And Georgia's always planning to make it even better. Funding has already been approved to make the Atlanta highways even more efficient, and the highways near Savannah and Brunswick, including creating new highways that will connect those deep water seaports so that our trade and commerce can become even better. Products from Georgia can actually reach 80% of Americans overnight. Now, if I owned a business, that would be a big incentive to start a headquarters for my business, or even to put my business permanently in the state of Georgia. And the highway system is one of the major reasons why business loves the state of Georgia. But another one of those reasons is because our highway system connects with our airport, Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. Now, the Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport is one of the busiest in the world. About 100 million passengers use it a year. About 625,000 metric tons of cargo travels through the airport every year. 32 air carriers, including Delta, which is a Georgia business, use the airport. Over 100 trucking companies connect with the airport so they can move their goods all around the country. And Atlanta's airport even has a couple of divisions that you don't see in other airports in the southeast, including the Perishables Complex, which operates with the USDA. So they have approval to deliver perishable goods from different farms, such as fruits, as well as good grub like fish. And you know, if you don't send that the right way, things are going to get stinky. Now, the airport also has the Georgia Foreign Trade Zone, which facilitates international trade and increases global business competition in Georgia. Now, if you want to know even more about the airport, there's about an 8-minute video from Georgia Stories. There's a link on eClass in Module 5 that can give you even more information, and also check out the documents that I have provided. Moving right along to the deep water seaports. Our deep water seaports are located in Savannah and Brunswick. They are coastal cities on the Georgia coast. Hence the word coastal. So, these 2 deep water seaports are called deep water seaports because they're deep enough to have huge carrier ships bringing goods and products. We're talking everything from cars to dangerous chemicals. Whatever needs to be shipped into our seaports can. And that's making Savannah and Brunswick some of the busiest and fastest growing seaports in the United States. Now, about 80% of the goods are handled in the Savannah port. Mainly because it has quick access to I-16 and I-95. But Brunswick is known for cargo such as automobiles. If you go down to Brunswick, you can see just football-sized fields full of cars on cars on cars and cars. So most of the cars that are being brought in to Georgia come to Brunswick. Now, yes, that is more efficient. You wouldn't want to put a car on an airplane. If you did that, you'd only be able to ship a few cars, whereas these huge cargo carriers can ship hundreds of cars in one shipment. Now, if we have dangerous chemicals, cars, other sensitive materials being brought into the Georgia coast, we obviously need someone to regulate that, and that is the Georgia Ports Authority. So take what I just told you just now and go read the article on the Georgia Ports Authority that's provided through eClass to answer the questions that you need to on the deep water seaports of Georgia. Now, moving right along to our last bit of our transportation mini lecture, railroads. Historically, railroads have always been essential to Georgia, starting off with just 13 miles, not 13,000, 13 miles of railroad. We now have 4,700 miles of railroad, making us the third most accessible, rail accessible state in the United States. So basically, rail accessibility means how easy is it to get to those railroads? How easy is it to use it? Most states have kind of abandoned railroads because other transportation systems have become more popular and in some cases more efficient in those states. But here in Georgia, we still use railroads a lot. You guys hear trains all the time with that railroad that crosses through downtown Norcross. And railroads are intermodal. So intermodal means that you're using more than one type of carrier. So you don't have a railroad stop in front of your house. If you want to get a product that is being shipped by a train, it's going to have to get off that train and get to you in some other way, eventually probably by a USPS or UPS or FedEx truck. So trains are definitely part of the intermodal transportation system. Remember? Intermodal. Now, if you want to know more about trains and railroads, very important part of our transportation system as it connects to all of the other transportation systems in Georgia, there is a Georgia Stories video on railroads on eClass that you can check out. Now, I really hope that this has been a little helpful. This was not meant to give you a huge amount of information, just brush the surface of the 4 transportation systems if you have questions. If you have more questions in class, of course ask me, and I hope you've enjoyed, wrong side, my lovely co-host back here, Misha, who obviously is very excited to learn about the 4 transportation systems of Georgia. Now get your work done.